Dan Hooker versus Edson Barboza. Oh, I've been waiting for this fight for so long. I've been waiting for it for so long. This is an amazing fight. Amazing fight. This weekend. Dan Hooker versus Edson Barboza. Fuck's sake. I'm so glad that no one fell out of this fight because this is potentially Edson Barboza's career. He's on a 2-fight losing streak and getting dominated in both of them by Khabib and Kevin Lee recently. Kevin Lee beat him up worse than Khabib did, who is fighting on the main card this weekend as well, Kevin Lee. So that's very interesting. Dan Hooker has looked sensational at lightweight since he moved up from featherweight. Remember, he had a good run at featherweight, and then he started losing some split decisions. He lost to Yair Rodriguez at featherweight. He lost to a few guys who can mix it up well on the feet. And it just, when you watched him fight, I remember, because I've been watching this guy for a while, I wanted to do a sort of separate video just on Dan Hooker, but I'll do it like this. He's so technical, but you could see there was something missing where he just wasn't pulling the trigger in his fights. And now he's moved up to lightweight, and he said himself that when he moved up to lightweight, it was like his mind was clouded at featherweight. He couldn't think in there, and that's all he does. And you can see that because he's figuring guys out now. And he's not just that he's won 4 in a row at lightweight. I mean, I think off the top of my head, I think he's beat Gilbert Burns, Jim Miller, Mark Diakiese, and some other guy, some random man that no one cares about, probably. Ross Pearson. There you go. Not a random. He's from England. I mean, I like Ross Pearson. Good fighter. But it's not just the fact that he's beaten these top guys. These guys are all ranked within the 15 to 20 sort of zone, just outside the top 15. And he's just been whooping all of them, knocking them out, finishing them. Mark Diakiese, I'm pretty sure he got a rear naked choke. He might have got a decision in that fight. He knocked out Jim Miller with that beautiful knee because he reads people very well. He knows the shorter guys are going to come dipping in like Mike Tyson. He plants that knee. He did the same knee that he did against Jim Miller to Ross Pearson. Knocked him out. And, I mean, yeah, when your training partner's Israel, and he knocked out Gilbert Burns as well, UFC 225. I mean, when your training partner's Israel Adesanya, you've got the stand-up sort of figured out, I think. And he's got dangerous submission games as well. I think if Edson Barboza wants to win this, I don't know. I think Dan Hooker wins this one, guys. He will probably be the underdog in this. But I think Dan Hooker wins it. I think Edson Barboza, as tough as he is, man, there's only so much damage you can take. Yeah, you took a beating in the Khabib fight. You took a beating in the fucking Kevin Lee fight. But it's hard because I'm clouded by his last 2 performances against similar opponents that are his kryptonite, like strong, dominant wrestlers. But you look at his performances before that. He's good. He's very good, but he does get caught and he does get put down a lot. And he doesn't have that same sort of grit. He can take a beating, but he just doesn't. He gets to a point in the fight where Edson Barboza just stops fighting back and he's just trying to survive. Tony Ferguson, he made it a brawl. Edson Barboza couldn't hang. Ferguson ruined him. You know? Donald Cerrone made it into a brawl, knocked down Edson Barboza off a jab. You know what I mean? There's just certain damage indicators where you think, okay, this guy might be on the way out of his career, and I'm predicting that he is on the way out of his career. As sensational of a striker he is, I think Dan Hooker's going to go in there, and he's going to put work on him. I think it's going to be a first round. They're feeling each other out. I'm literally, guys, I feel like I've got this fight predicted perfectly. It's going to be a first round. They're feeling each other out. Barboza's going to land a few leg kicks. Then Barboza's going to land a big shot on Dan Hooker. Not rock him or stun him or anything, but just you'll get a reaction from Dan Hooker, like a Max Holloway reaction. He doesn't get hurt, but he gets alert to the next strikes that are coming. And I think in the second round, or late into the first, we start to see Dan Hooker take over. Now he's throwing the straight right when he sees the leg kick coming. He's taking the leg kick and fucking planting a straight right on Edson Barboza. And I think Dan Hooker gets the win. I think the formula to beat Edson Barboza that a lot of people have figured out is to go forward against him. Keep coming forward. Because it's hard to set up kicks when you're on the back foot non-stop, unless you're Wonderboy Thompson. Which Edson Barboza is not. Obviously, he's the Muay Thai specialist. You know, it's hard to throw switch kicks when the guy is always walking forward at you and you haven't got any room to get off your kicks. It's the Anthony Pettis sort of curse, you know. You can't get off those fancy shit when you're backed against the cage and you're getting The elbow's fucked out of you. Don't know why I said that, but yeah, it felt right. But I think Dan Hooker gets this done late round 1 or round 2 TKO. And I think he's a dangerous guy on the scene. He could call out a guy at the top named Conor McGregor, maybe. I think people need to start calling dibs on this Max Holloway fight, though. Because essentially, you've beaten a champion. Like, essentially, you're fighting for a belt if you beat Max Holloway. Although the belt won't be around your waist, you're basically a champion. I mean, Max Holloway's a huge 145er. He probably weighs in similar to some of the guys at 155, some of the smaller guys. And he's a champion. Proven champion. Recently proven champion. So I think these guys need to start getting on the mic, picking names. Conor or Max is the golden name right now in the division. Or Tony Ferguson. Because obviously Khabib's in a bit of a predicament at the moment with his suspensions and shit like that, which really annoys me because it just slows down the division. But whatever, we got entertaining fights in the meantime. I think Dan Hooker gets this done. I just think it's the changing of the guard. I'm always biased. If you want to know one thing about the channel, I'm always biased towards the changing of the guard. The new guy coming up, I like the new guy coming up because I don't like gatekeepers. Gatekeepers make things boring. And Edson Barboza right now is looking like a gatekeeper. I mean, it's I hate to say it, but it's looking like, oh, if you beat this guy, then you can tangle with the best of them, you know? Whereas, you know, Edson Barboza, I mean, he could come back and spin and wheel kick Dan Hooker and knock him out, but Dan Hooker's never been knocked out. He never looks like he's been hurt that badly. I mean, he took some lumps from Ross Pearson, just kept taking them, reading Ross Pearson. I mean, I think you're going to go in there, we're going to see Dan Hooker thinking, looking, and just watching what Edson Barboza's doing for the first part of the first round. He's going to get caught, it's going to wake him up, and he's going to start going. And that's where we're going to see the finish. But yeah, good fight though. Very good fight. If I had to pick Edson Barboza winning, I'd say it'd be a decision. But he would like chop away at the legs, slow down Dan Hooker, keep chopping away at the legs, and yeah. But I think Dan Hooker's going to handle this one all day, boys. I think he's going to add another TKO to his highlight reel. And then if he beats Edson Barboza, what's he ranked, number 6? Right up there in the top of the division. He just placed in the top 15, and now he's got a great guy to just fucking skyrocket him up that division and get the job done. Beautiful. I don't know why I keep having these gag reflexes. It's weird. Like and subscribe, guys. This is going to be a great event. I'll be live streaming the whole thing, so, you know me. I'll be up at fucking 5 AM my time live streaming this fucking event because I've got something wrong with me. I'm retarded, probably. I actually think I have Down syndrome.